You ever get that sick, thrilling feeling like the whole city's heartbeat just skipped a beat? Like something seismic is rumbling beneath the frozen streets of Detroit. But everyone's too tense to even whisper it loud enough to shake the lift. Cold air? Like an electric pulse charging the beast that's been hungry and clawing for redemption for decades. Only this time, it's not just us dreaming. It's the whole league watching, silently, nervously. Close your eyes for a second. And imagine the roar that would explode at Ford Field if just a hint. The faintest crack in the armor showed Micah Parsons wearing Honolulu blue and silver. It's the dream that fans have talked about in hushed tones after every crushing loss and every next year hope Micah Parsons. The relentless force, the pass-rushing juggernaut who's not just a highlight reel but a game changer, a roar. That could finally wake the giants of Detroit's defense. Now, light up those comments if you feel that fire burning deep inside, the kind of fire that says this franchise, marred by heartbreak and endless rebuild since '91, might just be on the verge of turning a corner no one thought possible. Behind the scenes, the whispers are real. Executives in every corner of the NFL are watching, breath held, because the impossible is suddenly flirting with reality. The whispers aren't random. They started with Jordan Schultz's bombshell report that Micah Parsons has officially requested a trade from Dallas. Yes, the Cowboys, that juggernaut of star power and bling, the pride of Jerry Jones, have apparently failed to keep their crown jewel content. You hear that? A player with leadership that screams locker room heartbeat, with passion that bleeds on the turf, is done. Done with the backroom games, the silent doors slammed in his face. The public shots about injuries disguised as talking points, and the stalling of negotiations while he waits for the respect and the paycheck he's earned with blood, sweat, and unapologetic dominance. He laid it bare in his own words, no agent invited to discussions, no serious offers, just silence and a trade request handed directly to Stephen Jones. Detroit has lived through this kind of heartbreak before we've seen brilliance. Wasted, potential burned by front office cold shoulders, and the poker game of contracts that too often leaves us empty-handed and angry. But what if, just what if that trade request turns into a miracle? If the Lions somehow seize this thunderbolt and bring Parsons home, what does that signal? It means we are not just chasing a season, a playoff cameo, or a fleeting hope. We are gunning for the Super Bowl with a ferocity that shakes the very foundations of the NFC. Micah Parsons represents that missing puzzle piece, the unblockable beast, the closer to the defense we've dreamed about since the Caldwell years when despair was our only certainty. But it's not just about bringing him in. It's about what this means for the soul of this city and this team that has stubbornly refused to break despite endless bruises. We're looking at a merciless chess game of payroll, the looming contracts of Aiden Hutchinson, Jameson Williams, and rising stars who keep us breathing, but Parsons? Parsons is that edge that Luis Garrett, Nick Bosa, and T.J. Watt have used to carve out respect and rings. What if Lion fans are about to wake up to a new reality where Detroit doesn't just compete, they dominate? But let me gut punch you right here. This could all be smoke and mirrors if the stars don't align. The price to get Parsons will burn our draft capital, our future, and maybe the patience of a city that's been here before, but never this close. The question ripping through every fan's heart tonight is, what's the price of a Super Bowl? Because history tells us it's brutal, gritty, and demands sacrifice. Can Brad Holmes and the front office dare to put everything on the line? Would they? And what if they don't? What if the silence continues, the money never meets the measure, and we watch another All-Pro slip through our fingers again? The Lions, standing where hope and pragmatism collide, face the ultimate choice. Chase the dream or cling to the cautious path and gamble that next year's will be kinder. But something feels different this time. Something's in the air. Maybe it's the echoes of Detroit's resilience or the weight of decades of longing. But the fuse looks lit. And if Micah Parsons comes here, if that window cracks wide open, Detroit isn't just coming back. We're coming for blood, and the rest of the league better brace themselves. So tell me, With everything you've got, what would you be willing to sacrifice to put this man on our defense? What draft picks? What assets? What hopes could you trade for a shot at tearing the roof off Ford Field? For a chance to break that century-old curse? Because if this domino falls, if the Lions make this impossible move, you better believe the shakes in the NFL are just beginning. The countdown has started, and all that's left now is to watch, wait, and roar like never before. Unleash the beast. Detroit, this is the heartbeat we've been waiting decades to feel again. The roar of the city's soul is trembling on the brink of eruption, and all eyes are watching silent, but waiting hungry for the moment when history finally turns its page. Feel that? That's the electric current coursing through the streets. The ancient pulse of resilience that's carried us through 0 to 16 nightmares. Through Calvin's retirement, through Barry walking away in shame and heartbreak, through Dan Orlovsky's safety where dreams almost died under that crushing pressure of doubt, the seasons of despair that made us question whether our scars were too deep to ever heal, whether the pain was baked into the fabric of Detroit's bones. But now, there's an undeniable shift, a seismic tremor beneath Ford Field that whispers of something bigger, something ferocious enough to rewrite our story. Imagine Micah Parsons, that unstoppable, feral force who's been the league's heart-eater, wearing Honolulu blue, leading a defense so relentless it would shake the NFL to its core. Think about the locker room tension. Aiden Hutchinson chasing greatness, Jameson Williams dreaming of redemption, all of us hanging on to hope while the front office carefully weighs the risks, draft capital, cap space, the future, every potential. Sacrifice pouring out like a raging storm. Could they dare to take that leap? Could they gamble everything on the kind of game-changing talent that not only lights up the stat sheet, but transforms a franchise into a relentless war machine? All this chatter's been swirling and FC North fears rippling through the league. Rival defenses watching nervously as Detroit begins to awaken, like a dormant volcano ready to erupt, turning 2 decades of heartbreak into a new era of dominance. The ghost of Caldwell's firing, the near misses in past playoff runs, the time we watched our hopes crumble in playoff heartbreak, each scar lighting the fire inside us, reminding us that nothing worth fighting for comes free, especially not the Super Bowl. But what if the impossible happens? What if Brad Holmes, the master chess player, sees the opportunity of a lifetime and makes a move that would make history? Bringing Parsons home will be more than just an addition. It would be a statement that Asterisk we're done playing small, that Detroit has finally shed its chains, daring to claim what's ours. Think about the locker room revolution leaders rallying around a game breaker, a transcendent talent who embodies grit, passion, and brutal skill. Think about the streets, the chants, the roaring crescendo that would echo through the city, signaling a shift so profound it would be etched into our legacy. Remember Calvin's silence during his final years, Sanders walking away unwilling to wait in line for crumbs. Those were the sacrifices made by giants who refused to accept mediocrity. What are we willing to sacrifice now? Our draft picks, our future stars, our very soul lined up as a price to finally wake the sleeping giant and carve a path to Super Bowl glory. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about football. It's about breaking free from decades of frustration, about rewriting the cursed scripts that have haunted us since the 90s. As the league's whispers grow louder, ignited by Parsons' apparent trade request, the question stares us back, sharp and unforgiving. Are we prepared to push all in, to gamble everything for the shot that could finally flip the script? And if we don't, if this thunderbolt slips away, if Parsons stays in Dallas, if the city's collective breath is held just a moment too long, what then? Do we watch another opportunity fade into a cloud of almost? Or do we strike while the iron's hot, risking everything for a chance to etch our name in history? Because in Detroit, resilience isn't just a word, it's a battle cry, a promise that we refuse to stay down forever. But amidst the chaos, amidst the wild speculation, the elite move still hangs in the balance. Who will blink first? Who will be the architects of our destiny? And as the lead braces and Detroit's heartbeat thunders louder, one thing's certain: this isn't just a game. This is the moment where legends are born or broken, and the whole football world is watching, breath held. Are we brave enough to take the leap, or are we doomed to watch it all slip away yet again, drowning in the echoes of what could have been? The countdown's over, the decision looms, and the question echoes through the mist. Are we ready to turn the impossible into reality? Or will this be just another chapter of Close But No Cigar, forever haunted by the ghost of what might have been?